Hey, Backwoods Gearhead here. Back again. Figured to give you some pointers on new riders, up and coming riders, first time riders, and introduce my Minion's little DRZ50 here, 2020 model. So let's get started. First off, make sure you got good riding gear. Always have a nice helmet that fits snug. You don't want it slopping around on their head. Chest protector always helps. Good pair of gloves so they don't get blisters. And boots are always good, but she's got cowgirl boots, so it'll work. So we bought this used. I ended up trading my 110 for it, and it came with a headlight on it. Somebody put this on, it's not stock, it's aftermarket, which this having a battery with a starter makes it really simple to put a light on that. I haven't taken it apart yet to see how they wired it. They just have a plug. I'm going to probably wire a switch into it later on, but for now it works. She has a blast, she rides at night, has a fun time with this thing. It has upside down forks, which are not oil reservoirs or anything like that. It's just a spring with some grease in there. But the heavier kid on here, still gonna have plenty of fun. It's a 3-speed, 50cc, chain driven, so it's not a shaft drive or anything like that. It does have a shock in the back. Probably has about 4 or 5 inches of travel. But with the smaller kids on here, you don't have to worry about bottoming this thing out. You put somebody my size on it, 250 pounds, well, you're gonna destroy the poor suspension on here. It's still powerful enough to pull me around, so I get to have fun on it too, which you got to see in one of my first videos, ripping little wheelies with it. It's a great little machine. I mean, it takes some abuse. So the first thing I like to do when I get a new rider, someone that's never ridden before, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, is throttle control. That's the biggest thing you can teach them, because most kids get on it, or adults, doesn't matter, whiskey throttle. Grab onto it, twist it, it pulls you back, you automatically want to pin this thing. And then they're going for a ride, and they're not having fun because they get hurt, they get scared, and then it kind of ruins the whole vibe of getting them riding. So the first thing I like to do is I like to teach them how to use the throttle to begin with. I only let them use it just a little bit. You can let them wind the thing out, smack it off the rev limiter, just let them have fun a little bit. But teach them how to use it just gently. So I'll show you real quick because I can't leave it on, you won't hear me, but that's all I teach them, that little bit, and then I'll have them walk while they sit on the bike and just kind of put it in gear and have them go a little bit at a time until they start getting comfortable. Once you're confident with your kid playing with the throttle, having some fun, let them float the valves a couple times, it ain't gonna hurt the bike. And then you get them to calm down and you get that nice little putt. Have them do this, where they start the bike, put it in gear, and walk with it. My little miss will demonstrate. Go ahead, sweetheart. Once you see them that they're getting confident with that and they're getting better and smoother, slowly let them creep up and get going a little faster and have them pick their feet up and just get comfortable, nice, easy. Remember, they're not racing right away. You want them to just have fun. The key is to have fun with this. Otherwise, you just ruin it for them. Big thing here is have a nice open area, not really anything in the way for them to hit, just have a good time and just kind of give them some free range. Just let them cruise around, get that confidence build up. Once you get their confidence built up a little bit and they've been stopping and stuff, which granted when they're walking with the bike they're going to use the front brake most of the time. Once their confidence build up and they get their feet up on the pegs, I have them start using the rear brake and do the same thing until I get them. Then I'll get them ripping around the yard. But first off, you got to get them in a straight line, get them to stop, get them to remember that, get it locked in their head. Go ahead, sweetheart, show them how it's done. Now remember, not everybody's going to be a master at it. No one's going to be a pro motocrosser right off the rip. But it's all about having a good time, having fun. Like my daughter here, she's still learning the rear brake. She loves the front brake. The only reason I'd say to try and stay away from it as much as you can still use it. Obviously, it's the biggest part of your brake. But if the little guys or little girls grab a handful of front brake, most likely going to lose the front end. You're going to take a digger, which is all part of it. So that's all right. It's not a big deal. But as long as they get back up. Remember, you don't have to start out on a little 50 if you're an adult, because that makes it a little more difficult. You catch them in your bars, especially somebody my size. A 110 is perfect to start out on, even bigger. But don't go for a full-blown race bike right away. But you can if you want to. Depends on how brave you are. They will come up and bite you. Anything. Even that one will come up and bite me if you don't respect it. Remember that. So if you're a first-time rider, or you're 8 years old like my daughter here, she's been riding for a short bit. What was your first thing that you liked that gave you the most help?
That you go a little faster, and that's how I lifted my feet up and got going.
The quicker you go, the better balance you'll have, but you don't want to go super fast. Remember, I'm not the guru of this. I just like to have fun. So these are just some tips that work for me and my friends, my family. So get them out, get them ripping, get them having fun. Remember, don't get discouraged right away when they don't really take off with it. My daughter took a little bit. We went through 3 bikes. So it's a new day. I wanted to touch base a little bit more on the adult riders, because focus mainly on the little ones. So say you got your friends over and you've already been riding, you got your little one riding, and they go, hey, I ain't never ridden one of those before and I always wanted to. It looks like fun. Happens to me all the time. All my friends I've been teaching a lot that never had bikes. You can completely easily start someone out on one of these, but I'll show you a couple of the things that can cause problems and why that would be a little bit better for them, for adults, a little bit bigger bike. This one, still an awesome bike, still plenty of fun. But somebody my size, even my wife's size, she's 5'4", 5'5", when they get on this with the little bars, they're going to catch their knees when they got their feet up on the pegs. So when they catch their knees, they panic, they catch their knees, can't turn, and they catch the ground. It's not a fun time, but it's part of it. But to make life easier, if you have one of these, way better. So much more fun. For an adult anyway. Even kids have fun on them. We have Pro Taper 50 bars on these, which is what everybody does when they do the pit bike thing, because it's awesome and it gives you more knee room. Better steering, wider bar. So now I sit on this. I love this bike. It's fantastic. It's great. Plenty of room. Don't have to worry about catching my knee as much. So it's a little easier to start somebody out that's bigger on one of these versus that. But it's still doable. You can still have a blast. So just a little bit of information for you. Hopefully it helps you out. So if you like what I'm giving you, all my little tips and tricks and stuff, like, subscribe, hit the little bell. Till I see you next time, keep riding, keep having fun.